everybody, it's Lance the Lush, and welcome to another edition of Lush Talks. Now, as you can see in the title next to me, it says, Drinkers Don't Care About Anheuser-Busch Anymore. Now, I will say this, I don't go to the New York Post for any reason very often, and the only time I read them is their sports page. This is very entertaining, But this article actually brought to my attention on one of the Facebook pages I'm on, and I decided to talk about it. This is from yesterday. Now, as I scroll down, and we can read along, it says Americans last year continued to lose their thirst for Bud. The flagship brew of Anheuser-Busch InBev saw U.S. shipments of the famous lager fall to 14.4 million barrels last year, down 60% from the 35.2 million barrels shipped in 1988. Now, I'm going to start there. You have to understand the market of beer 29 years ago. There wasn't really that many craft brewers out there at the time. So, I mean, the big brewers, Miller, Coors, before they merged, Anheuser-Busch, yada, yada, yadas, they had to market to themselves. And I'm going to get to that later, but we're going to continue. Consumers first shifted to light beers, which they did, and they had one heck of a marketing campaign back then during the 80s when they did it. And now they're shifting imported and craft beers. BMI president Benji Steinman sold the Post. Long ago, the light trend made Bud Light the best-selling beer in the country, but even that brand has been a bit flat. Its shipments are down 15% since 2008, to 35.2 million barrels last year. Overall, Anheuser-Busch InBev said Thursday that the third quarter U.S. revenue for the entire Budweiser brand fell 2.2%, while it grew 4.4% outside the country. They've already been pushing Bud out globally, Steinman said, but in the U.S. it's become an older brand with less popular style. AB InBev reported the U.S. sales of all its brands, including Beck's, Corona, and Stella Artois, fell 5.6%. And they said that they can't remember a quarter this bad. Now, there's a reason why I wanted to talk about this article today. Now, we go way back in time to where, like I said earlier, the big boys had the market to themselves, and they really, really did. So, like when the rise of Samel Adams in the 90s, and when the craft brewers in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s starting to really get going, it was going to naturally erode their market share. That was just a natural occurrence. Now, that was number one. Number two, I can point to something to where, and a lot of people are not going to like this, and there's a fly in my room for some strange reason. What happened? The Bush family. I remember when Augustus Bush IV announced they were going to sell the company. People in the beer world across the board was shocked. And a lot of people got turned off to the brand because of that, because number one, they considered them a sellout. And I kind of did back then too. Two, even though that was a long-standing brand, even the kids didn't necessarily want to drink it, and I don't think I got it, Lush fans. And there was still that level of respect that they had. It really was, because it was still family ran. Another thing is, and I brought this up a long time ago, I think they started cutting with water more and more. I really did. Maybe that's just me, but a lot of people might have noticed it also. And another thing is, like, this is a company that took so long to, number one, diversify out of the United States, or well, let me take it back. Not out of the United States itself, but North America, into other markets. I know, like, for example, I think they're pretty big in India right now, or getting big. And I remember doing a daily quickie on one of my other channels. I think, no, was that channel or this channel about that fake Bud in China? So they got worldwide brand recognition. I mean, I know they shifted their marketing from the Clydesdales, which is very traditional, but I enjoyed those commercials, to like more of an urban bar setting. And that turned a lot of the old line off the bud on top of the rise of the craft breweries. And they took and this is the biggest thing I think they made the biggest mistake on. And a lot of corporate entities, I don't care who you are or what genre you're in. Some of them make the same fatal mistake. And that is the following. When in doubt, buy them out. Simple as that. Number one, you lose a lot of your edge, start buying other breweries or other companies out. And two, and people see you doing a major acquisition run, that turns a lot of people off to your brand. It really, really does. And that's one of the reasons why you're dropping like a stone. At least as far as market share. There's a lot of contributing factors. And for the life of me, I can't remember a quarter this bad for Anheuser-Busch InBev. I really can't. I don't. And it's like, and it says dismal performance, even though when it says at the bottom of the article, it says worldwide alcohol sales in general are down. But I want to talk about something that a lot of people don't talk about to an extent. Number one is the resurgence of spirit drinking. And there's been a big resurgence with that. And two, a subgenre, craft spirits. A lot of people don't talk about this yet. They really, really don't. But I honestly think in the next 5 to 10 years, that's going to overtake the market. Now, it's not cheap. But people will go out and experiment just to see how it is. But I wanted to get on here today to talk about this particular article because I find it very, very, very interesting. Well, Lush fans, that's it. This is another edition of Lush Talks, and stay tuned for the next edition of Lance the Lush.